Prison officials want R. Kelly dead. You heard me. The government, they say, has put a target on the singer in prison.
The reason is that Mr. Kelly was about to expose some facts that would be extremely inflammatory and damaging.
Like the days before the event, he was getting death threats that he felt like was coming from Jay-Z. Like Jay-Z was trying to basically, it may sound outrageous, but he felt like Jay-Z wanted to get him killed for whatever reason.
Have you maintained any type of contact with R. Kelly since?
We spoke, like, you know what I'm saying, we spoke a couple of times, but I don't really want to be like, I know he's getting calls from everywhere, and I mean, if he's guilty, I just hope and pray that he get help. If he's not, I wish everybody, you know what I'm saying, everybody embrace him, you know, and whatever.
When Jay and I was in there doing basketball awards, you can't tell me Jay didn't see a 14-year-old girl come in the studio and sit on R. Kelly's lap.
Prison officials want Kelly gone. Not disciplined, not silenced, but gone for good. You heard that right. According to new explosive allegations,
R. Kelly was giving an additional dose of medication by prison staff, and they're alleging that because of that additional medication that he was instructed to take and that he actually took, he suffered a overdose.
There's a murder plot inside the prison walls. This ain't no random prison illness. His legal team is calling it a straight-up assassination move. And it gets darker.
Welcome to the best of the I'm pulling with the big boy truck, nigga, big boy truck. We be the only big boys that the big boy boss. Go get him, Cal.
The man who was allegedly paid to carry out the hit, he's come forward and confessed, saying he was sent in by someone who knew Kelly was sitting on explosive info, the kind of stuff that could destroy very powerful people if it ever got out. Industry insiders are whispering that Jay wasn't just standing by.
I don't know if it could have been some Illuminati sacrifice type shit. I don't know. He don't know. You know what I mean? But that's how he felt.
Some say he was deeply involved in similar scenes. Only difference? Jay had better protection. And it's not coming from the inmates. It's coming from the top. What does he really know? And why is Rock Nation being named again and again in these deadly whispers? Not just a mistake. Not a slip-up.
If I send into the album about women with him, I'm definitely maybe indulging. He had to be indulging some 14-year-olds, man. That's what I'm saying. What I'm here for the people, man. I'm here to talk the truth.
Jay-Z should have kept his motherfucking clothes. Because everybody in the industry, they not going to tell you. But everybody know in the industry that Jay-Z was talking to young girls.
His team believes it was intentional. Prison staff reportedly gave him far more than his normal dose for anxiety and sleep issues. The result? Kelly collapsed on June 13th and had to be rushed to Duke University Hospital in Durham, North Carolina. But even that didn't stop the madness. Doctors told prison officials not to move him, and they ignored it. According to his lawyer, it's because Kelly knows way too much, and he was planning to expose some serious players with deep ties to the government and entertainment world. Yeah.
They say that R. Kelly woke up allegedly on June 13th and he felt faint. He was dizzy. He started to see black spots. He got up and he fell. He crawled to the door of the cell and he lost consciousness then. At that point, he was placed on a gurney. He was taken by ambulance to a nearby hospital because they tried to take him to the hospital inside of or associated with the facility that he's in, but they couldn't help him, so they took him to an outside hospital. Now, they say in addition to this incident, this overdose, right, they're also pointing to the fact that R. Kelly allegedly has been asking for months to get some medical attention to a swollen leg. R. Kelly's legal team says that once he was taken to the hospital for this overdose situation, R. Kelly brought up the swollen leg, and they allege that doctors there then took a look at the swollen leg and they found blood clots in R. Kelly's right leg, allegedly, in his left leg, and his lungs, allegedly. But his legal team alleges that once the prison was contacted, R. Kelly was then removed against his will by guards and was not allowed to be.
We're talking about names that hold major power behind the scenes. Coincidence? Or is something bigger bubbling under the surface? According to Ronnie, Kelly always felt like Jay was insecure about his success and tried to sabotage him in any way possible, even on tour. They were already flying back when the two were still performing together. Kelly supposedly believed Jay-Z was orchestrating moves to scare him off or worse. The man thought he was about to be set up for a real sacrifice. And it all happened just days after Kelly begged for release, saying another inmate was paid to kill him. On June 11th, attorney Bo Brinley dropped a bomb, claiming federal officers are actively soliciting Kelly's murder to stop him from exposing corruption behind his prosecution. Industry vets have been whispering this for years. Even Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, came out and said it. People in the game knew exactly what Jay-Z was up to. He claimed that if Jay stuck around long enough to make a whole album with Kelly, then chances are he wasn't just ignoring the behavior. He might have been part of it. They just stayed silent because they were scared.
In terms of proof, the most powerful piece of proof I can provide is the sworn statement of the man who says that he was solicited to kill R. Kelly. Michael Glenn Stein has provided us with a full declaration signed, and he's given his willingness to sit down for a polygraph examination administered by either side to testify in court. He has given us the details of who solicited him and when. And I think that's the key here. These are not R. Kelly's allegations. These are the allegations being made by Michael Glenn Stein, who's the person who says that he was solicited to kill Robert and sent to Butner to do it. Mr. Stein, in his declaration, has set forth the reason that was given. The reason is that Mr. Kelly was about to expose some facts that would be extremely inflammatory and damaging to the Bureau of Prisons and the Department of Justice.
Scared of the consequences, scared of losing their spots. According to Kelly's lawyer, this whole thing, this alleged murder setup, it ain't just about settling old industry beef. It's way deeper. But at powerful federal figures, high-ranking officials, and even the Department of Justice. Because when you follow the trail of connections, it all seems to come back to one named Desiree Perez, and hit with major conspiracy charges tied to a drug operation that stretched from New York to Florida to Puerto Rico. Simple, she flipped. According to Variety, Desiree became a federal informant, cutting a deal that gave her 5 years of probation, probation for a multi-kilo drug conspiracy. His early circle had street ties, and Desiree's past was no secret. It even mentioned that she'd spent time as a fugitive after cooperating with the D. That article mysteriously wiped from the internet, but not before people grabbed screenshots, and they're still floating all over social media. In a court hearing dated June 11, 1996, Assistant U.S.
And he just said how much conflict they was experiencing with each other, like even during the process of putting the album together, but especially on tour, you know, like they kept having petty disagreements. And he felt like, you know, Jay-Z, you know, kept saying things along the lines that, like, man, you not bigger than me. Like you act like you bigger than me. And he felt like Jay-Z was kind of insecure because R. Kelly at the time was technically bigger than him.
Attorney Lawrence Feld praised her cooperation, telling the judge that she'd been working closely with agents. Out of all the talent in the industry, why pick someone with that kind of past? Desiree wasn't just a cooperator, she was the centerpiece of their case. And criminal pasts all tangled together. The more you dig, the darker it gets. The question isn't just if Kelly is telling the truth, it's whether we'll even survive knowing what that truth really is. And they're allegedly willing to go as far as murder to protect themselves. His lawyer has said it clearly. Kelly is a target because he knows too much. Smash that like button if you want the truth to come out. Subscribe so you don't miss the next explosive drop. And stay locked in because we've got more untold stories to expose. Not just about industry folks, but about government officials, the prison system, and the Department of Justice. And now we've got a straight line from Kelly's accusations to a woman with federal ties who just happens to be running Jay-Z's empire. Her husband, Juan Perez, also has a history that raises eyebrows. He's been tight with Jay since the 90s. They co-founded the 4040th Club together. And Jay later made him president of Rock Nation Sports. He said a lot of people in their circle, like co-founder Kareem Biggs Burke, had deep issues with the feds. So for Jay-Z to suddenly bring a federal informant into Run Rock Nation, Dame straight up called it spooky business. But before any of those corporate titles, they were running in circles way outside the boardroom. We're talking about serious trafficking here, not some petty possession charge. She is not just anybody, she is the president of Rock Nation and Jay-Z's most trusted right hand. But here's the twist. She's also a former federal informant with deep, long-standing ties to government agencies. And if that's true, it's no wonder some people want him to disappear for good. This is about secrets that could shake the foundations of the entertainment world and the justice system at the same time. It got shut down. Why?
He felt like, on one of the shows, one of the events when they was in Madison Square Garden, prior to that event, he said like days before the event, he was getting death threats that he felt like was coming from Jay-Z. Like Jay-Z was trying to basically, it may sound outrageous, but he felt like Jay-Z wanted to get him killed for whatever reason. I don't know if it could have been some Illuminati sacrifice type shit. I don't know. He don't know. You know what I mean? But that's how he felt. A pretty powerful dude in that industry. You know what I mean? And I'm experiencing that now because I was supposed to be setting up an interview with the Breakfast Club, and they said that iHeart wouldn't allow me to do it because of the publicity surrounding my name. And it may sound far-fetched, but I know that Jay-Z has connections to where he could blacklist me.
Ronnie says Jay-Z personally made sure it didn't happen.
R. Kelly pointed out to me is that he basically was saying just look at how hard they coming down on me with all this go on in the industry, and look at how they never said nothing about how when Jay-Z was messing with Foxy Brown, she was 15. Everybody knew that, but nobody ever bashed him about it like they bashing me over Aaliyah. And he was basically saying he never even really messed with Aaliyah on the level that everybody think, he messed with her on.
He brought up something that might explain exactly why Jay-Z wants Kelly's silence forever.
Jay-Z should have kept his mouth closed. Because everybody in the industry, they not going to tell you. They not going to get out and say nothing because we have this no snitching, no telling the truth, or don't say nothing type of culture. But everybody know in the industry that Jay-Z was talking to young girls. See, I know in 99 and early 2000, he was dealing with Beyonce. I didn't know Jay-Z was 30 years old though. And Beyonce was 17 and 18. See, Jack could have told it, but I saw it. Personally, I was there at the clubs, at Eugene's, at the next games. Oh, Miss Gang, somebody say, yeah, that's too old, Gene. Yeah, I'll be the mother. I talked to my daughter, he that old. She's 17, 18 years old, and in his 30s. Oh, don't let me catch.
It ain't just about jealousy or business beef, it's about history. The kind of history nobody wants resurfacing. Ronnie says the same industry that canceled Kelly has been real quiet about Jay-Z's own sketchy past involving young women. In an old school interview with Wendy Williams, Nez didn't he pull any punches, he flat out said Jay-Z knew everything Kelly was doing and just looked the other way. Wendy chimed in too, saying you couldn't work that closely with Kelly without seeing the shady stuff happening. That's some serious pressure from someone who doesn't want certain secrets getting out. And let's not forget Foxy Brown, who Jay-Z allegedly met when she was still underage. This stuff ain't new, it's just been kept quiet. We're talking about government ties, corrupt officers, and even powerful names in the industry like Jay-Z and Rock Nation being linked to this chaos. Kelly's old cellmate, Ronnie Bowe, has already claimed that Kelly told him point blank Jay tried to sacrifice him. Now, if that don't scream shady, I don't know what does. Kelly's lawyer says the man who was allegedly sent to kill Kelly inside prison gave a full sworn statement. He claimed straight up that Kelly told him Jay-Z was behind a murder plot.
Style, that's not what I'm going to do. Yeah, I could have put up movies, I could have showed the R. Kelly video that everybody's talking about, made fun of it, and said, yeah, Jay's hanging out. When Jay and them was in there doing Best of Both Worlds, you can't tell me Jay didn't see a 14-year-old girl come in the studio and sit on R. Kelly's lap. No. You can't tell me, you won't sit here and tell me that working on that album, that he ain't never seen no 14-year-old girl come in the vicinity.
My belief is that anybody who's worked with him and been in his cipher has seen it go down.
And I pray for him. But if I sit there and did an album about women with him, I'm definitely maybe indulging. He had to be indulging some 14-year-olds, man.
And had been trying to sacrifice him for years. And in it, he claimed this ain't the first time someone's tried to take Kelly out. This wasn't just a random attack, it was a coordinated move, bar. Kelly was just rushed to the hospital after what his lawyer says. Looks like a targeted poisoning attempt. And guess who's being named right at the center of this? Jay-Z. Yep, Kelly's former close friend. This ain't even the first time Jay-Z's name has been brought up in this deadly mess. Now sure, Jay-Z once claimed he had no clue what Kelly was doing behind closed doors. But let us be real. And then Nas threw gasoline on the fire, bringing Jay-Z's name into Kelly's legal mess and calling him out in the most unexpected way. Right when Kelly started hinting he was ready to speak, ready to expose people, he ends up hospitalized from medication given by prison staff. The timing is way too perfect to ignore. So what's really going on here? Why are people so desperate to keep our Kelly quiet? Let us break it down, because Kelly's lawyer just confirmed it. The singer was hospitalized after prison staff allegedly gave him a dangerously high dose of medication, according to a new court filing obtained by USA Today. The meds weren't routine. They were overkill.
How old were you when you started selling drugs?
I can't say. I don't like the way you're saying that. Let's say hustling. That sounds such a harsh way to put it.
But it is hard.
I can't be a politician. I'm too real.
I don't even talk about it. That's the best thing.
Never?
No. Never.
This is the one time that the paper did scare me. And I was like, there has to be some truth to it, is when I read about his affiliation with, informants. That he's in business with certain people. And it's tricky for me to say, but just based on where I'm from, I can't have nothing to do with that. And then just based on...
So you believe that though?
I don't know, it's paperwork.
Yeah.
So it's not to believe, you know what I'm saying? There's paperwork. So that part of it scares me, because I know Biggs is in jail. I know Irv Gotti's been harassed for years over shit he didn't do. I know they with me for years. So it just means I need to stay over here. You know what I'm saying? So I love Jay, but let's say I find out that any of that, I can't for him at all, because that's how I was raised. It ain't no disrespect. I don't know how anyone else was raised. That's it. It ain't nothing to talk about. And it's real serious for me, because your friend, my man's in jail for 3 years over weed. The feds is really on me. It's not like they not. And where I'm from, that's tolerated at all.
Kelly's team is saying this wasn't just negligence. It was a hit job. And it gets worse. Brinley says they got a sworn statement from inmate Michael Stein, who says he was promised an early release if he killed Kelly. So, why would anybody want to take Kelly out like that? Now hear us where things get real while Jay-Z's name comes sliding right into the center of the drama again. And let us not forget we already heard about an earlier attempt on Kelly's life from someone who would know, his former cellmate Ronnie Bowe. In an explosive interview with Hip Hop News Uncensored, Ronnie broke down the whole falling out between Kelly and Jay during their Best of Both Worlds tour. But the real bombshell? Ronnie says the threats didn't start in prison. And it gets deeper. Ronnie says he was even scheduled to appear on The Breakfast Club to share everything he knew. But that appearance? But Ronnie didn't stop there. Everybody remembers how Kelly was with Aliyah, but Ronnie pointed out that Jay-Z had connections to her too. And we're not talking about internet gossip. But not everyone held their tongue. Niz stepped up and dropped receipts. And Niz? He didn't buy the I didn't know excuse for 1 second. Now, let's bring it back to the prison plot. Kelly's team says he's sitting on evidence that points fingers not just at celebrities. So now the big question. What does all of this have to do with Jay-Z? Well, this is where it starts getting real shady. Let's break it down. Back in 1994, Desiree got busted caught with 35 kilos of cocaine. Now remember, Jay-Z's empire wasn't just built on music. So let us just say it's pretty clear they weren't laying down tracks in the studio back then. Now here's where it gets wild. You're probably thinking, okay, Desiree got caught with that much weight, how is she not doing 20 years? A New York Daily News article from 2014 even called her the Fed's star mole. The article also described her as a nightclub manager with a deep criminal past and close ties to Jay-Z. And don't think this is just internet talk. Dame Dash himself, Jay-Z's former business partner, went on Sway in the morning and voiced real concern. So when you line all this apart, Kelly's murder plot starts to look a lot less like a coincidence and a lot more like a cover-up. Ask yourself, why would Jay-Z put a known federal informant in such a powerful position at Rock Nation? Because if what Kelly's saying is true, there's a network of powerful people working overtime to keep these secrets buried. This ain't just a scandal. It's a potential full-blown conspiracy with industry elites, government insiders. One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think this is all a wild conspiracy? Or is something real sinister going on behind closed doors?